We say
and stomp on him with my cowboy
not
boots.
a trans
From my
African
cowboy
reject
boots.
movement.
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna stomp your
Exactly.
not a
island ass
trans
you
into
African
look,
coconut
look,
reject.
jelly.
you and Andrew Jackson, right?
Now,
I get up.
you
I
ever
get
had
in.
a
I
Nah, Q
got
was
you.
up. Q my niggas.
Any more students want to come up while the teacher is still around? Pan Africans, lost Africans,
Now,
Hebrews.
Navi, is this when the Pales started to settle in the areas? So, Pale of Settlement was a western region of the Russian Empire with varying borders that existed from 1791 to 1917, de facto until 1915, in which permanent residency by Jews was allowed, and beyond which Jewish residency, permanent or temporary, was mostly forbidden. Most Jews were still excluded from residency in a number of cities within Pale as well. A few Jews were allowed to live outside the area, including those with university education, the ennobled members of the most influent of the merchant guilds, in particular artisans, some military personnel, and some services associated with them, including their families and sometimes their servants. That must have been some of the Sephardic Jews. Pale is an archaic term meaning an enclosed area. The Pale of the settlement included all the modern day Polaris and uh, Moldova, much of Lithuania, Ukraine, and east central Poland, and a relatively small part of Latvia and what is now Western Russian Federation. It extended from the Eastern Pale or demarcation line inside the country westwards to the Imperial Russian border within the Kingdom of Prussia, later German Empire, and Austria Hungary. Furthermore, it comprised of 20% of the territory of European Russia and largely corresponded to historical lands of the former Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth, Kozak Kamenet, and Ottoman Empire with Yeresun, Crimean Krenek, and Eastern Principality of Moldavia, Bessarabia. Life in the Pale for many was economically bleak. Most people relied on small service or artisan work that could not support a number of inhabitants, which resulted in immigration, especially in the late 19th century. Even so, Jewish culture, especially Yiddish, developed in the Celtics, small towns, and intellectual culture developed the yeshivas, religious schools, and was also carried abroad. The Russian Empire during the existence of Pale, predominantly Orthodox Christian, in contrast to the area included in the Pale, with its large minorities of Jewish, Roman Catholic, and into the mid 19th century, Eastern Catholic population, although much of modern Ukraine, Belarus, and Moldova are predominantly Eastern Orthodox. While the religious nature of the edicts creating the Pale is clear, conversion to Russian Orthodoxy, the state religion, released individuals and scriptures. Historians argue that the motivation for its creation and maintenance was primarily economic and nationalist in nature. The end of the enforcement and formal demarcation of the Pale coincided within the beginning of the World War I in 1914, and large number of Jews fled into Russia interior to escape the invading Imperial German army, and then ultimately in 1917 with the end of the Russian Empire as a result of the February Revolution.
Thank you, Dulcinea. I was just trying. I was over here like Bill Cosby, just trying to keep them in the field of play before they start gish galloping all over the damn place.
Right.
Hey, Navi.
What's up? What's up?
Mhm.
Hey, Navi.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Had me down there working in the chat and shit. Okay. No, but if you look at that, since they were talking about pale and black and all you guys were, and I know I was kind of off of y'all subject, like I said, keeping them in the field of play. When you look at the pogroms, then you see that different people were targeted. Um, Not just one group of people. And so I kept putting name stealers into the chat because they're switching names around. When you guys were talking about Andrew Jackson and when he was in office, you're looking at the same thing of Dr. McGill, which a lot of people probably read that in the chat, where they were taking an American who went over there to colonize part of the colonization with Liberia, or should I say Maryland in Liberia, with the Maryland Colonization Society, and he had to tell people that he was African, not
Right.
American. He was born in America. So while you guys were talking about the Indian, I figured I'd just keep them in the field to play. So they couldn't run their asses over there and talk about they was African and shit. Yeah, 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 because they were stealing our names. And I think they
Exactly,
traded.
and their names as far as the black people, because it's like everyone wants to ask, well, what happened to all these? Where? How did these pale skins come in? Where did they come from? And the history is showing where they came from, how they usurped
hmm
identities.
Yeah, I mean, I did a whole piece at one point and took a copyright strike on it, talking about the Black Irish that was down in the Caribbean when they was taking them down that way. And they were very dark, but they were Irish. And you also have the running of the snakes that go along with that, unless that's a fake story.
Right. So when I had dropped that about the green, you know what? That's one of them. If you pull it up on live, it'll get you struck. But it's the slave trade of them, of the Irish.
Yeah. So, like I said, I was just on my Bill Cosby, keeping them in the field of play.
I love
So
Yeah, we
Navi,
know
I
about
have a
Chief Tammany.
question. You know that people harp on a lot, of when it comes to the American Colonization Society and just these different Negro people that are over these organizations and doing the usurping. What do you think? Why do you think that is, that these particular Negroes were trying to convince people that they were African and working on the side of white people?
Well, Dulcinea, what I think is that they got offered something better. Hey, you could come over here and you could be free. That's one. Okay, you can start your own business. You ain't got to do all this stuff that is going on in America. They bought into it, but from what I hear and what I've heard, somebody I trust very well said that most of those people who went over there under that colonization society ended up coming back over here. And then I have to look at what was going on over here as far as um, like the KKK and all that stuff, the Ku Klux Klan Act and all that stuff that came out, that might have something to do with all that friction that was going on. Because everybody didn't leave, even though they said a great majority of people left from Arkansas, where my folks are from, Mississippi Valley and stuff. So that created a vacuum. And I don't know if I'm answering your question all the way, but it created a vacuum. Okay. And they have to keep us in a particular narrative. McGill is something that I stumbled across, and I stumbled across it with the Moorish Indian School up there in the Northeast and in association with Dartmouth. And what's that guy, Carnegie, or one of them folks, DuPont,
Yeah,
all of those
Carnegie.
folks over in there. And that dude had to say that he was African to be accepted over here because foreigners got more respect than saying that they were a black American. And that's a direct quote from what I put in the chat. and I put the link in there twice so that people could read what was said, even though that particular article does not, well, it does have something about him being black that he couldn't say, um, that he was American, or that he was a black American, or anything about being from here. He had to tell everybody that he was from Africa just to attend school. So it's a matter. I don't know why they work with them, other than I think they got offered a good deal, thinking that, you know how people give you a happy suggestion, it's gonna be great, and then it'd be a bunch of bullshit. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, I agree. And you did answer my question. Thank you.
Okay.
I just know it's always there's a lot of contention when, with this whitewashing, that where people will believe that some people are whitewashed, but when you get into some people, it's just like, no, it can't be. Why would a Negro do what that person was doing? Like, why would Andrew Jackson do that if he was a Negro?
Yeah, I don't know what his ethnicity was. I just know that I have documentation showing that one of my possible family members sold land to his administration, gave land to his administration. And as far as the American Colonization Society, you got to look at it a certain way, because for me, and I'm older than a lot of you guys up here, I just found out about the American Colonization Society, and you have to wonder why they keep that thing a secret in school.
Yes. Yeah, you was
Yeah,
talking.
I never heard about it before until
You
BCU.
must be
Like,
in the South. You must be in the South too, Navi.
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's crazy.
So y'all
I
heard
was
Because a
raised up
lot of up
north.
north,
I was
a
raised in
lot of
Wisconsin,
people.
and I grew up in California,
Okay, so you
and we didn't hear
Midwest.
about it.
Okay,
I'm Midwest.
so I'm talking about up north, like New York. Them motherfuckers that
Uh,
knew about it.
yeah, they know about it.
They knew about it.
they ain't know about the ones
That's why
down here.
shout out to
But you
Hawkeye.
know what
That's why
hides that?
Hawkeye always say, "Yo, OTK, don't let nobody fool you, man. These motherfuckers know up here, yo. We was taught that shit, yo."
You know what
Hawkeye
hid that though?
always taught that shit. But go ahead, go ahead.
And you can't believe
You know,
Hawkeye.
you know what hid that stuff? What story really hides that? When they start talking about people coming from down south, going up with the British Army to be free, like the Book of Negroes, that story in Nova Scotia, that's what hides it.
But see, the Book of Negroes was when British and English was warring against each other, and the British took so-called Negroes to Nova Scotia.
Hmm.
In the Book of
I get it.
Negroes also is when you start seeing people so-called documenting people, and she was asking people like, "Yo, how old are you?" The motherfucker like, "I don't know. What's your name?" I don't know. You got motherfucker giving them Christian names at this time, not even
All
knowing where
that
they
you can be free. That part
right,
two OTK where it says you can be free if
right,
you come up here and get up under the British American Colonization Society. That's what's hiding that
right.
story.
Big facts, big facts, big facts,
Yeah, I
big
know
facts.
down here, I mean, you can count on two hands how many black people you're taught in full history from I would say from the beginning, primary school to high school. Starts off with like Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. I did get Sojourner Truth at some point in elementary school, and then Crispus Attucks. Then, as you get older, they just talk about W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Then, other than that, they're just honorary mentions as African slaves.
Yeah, and the thing with W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T, Tuskegee and
Yeah,
everything, if you
Tuskegee.
follow
That was a
that, you
whole
find out
nother
about
level.
with the thing with W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T, when you follow that going into North Carolina, that's when you find out about the Chautauqua or Jadagua, whichever way you say it, and that's coming right out of New York as well. And it moved all over this country. They got a movement in Colorado. That's how that shit got down south. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I got to look at that up. That's what's up, Navi. That shit hit up definitely because I don't look at them niggas no different than Garvey because once that Tuskegee experiment went down, they tried to turn their back on Garvey and try to make it look like it was all Garvey and them black nurses and shit. But they was right behind that shit too. At the same time, we see the before that we see the slave ship come out, the painting of the slave ship. Frederick Douglass started pumping that shit,
Who
and now
dropped
you
his
got the
sister for a white
Tuskegee
woman?
experience.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, my
and now
bad.
you no go ahead.
My
No,
bad. I
they
didn't mean to
say
go on the black white
they
thing.
say
I
he
really
was
didn't.
no, it's fine. Did they say he was a slave, or they say his parents are a slave? Don't they about Frederick Douglass?
Oh, his
To me,
story
they
is
I
that
think they say he was.
he was born a free. He was born free.
Hmm.
Oh, born a slave or something, and he was
There it
set.
is,
Yeah,
born a
it's like one
slave.
of the he's born a slave,
Yeah,
or yeah, that's why I was like I didn't know if it was.
every abolitionist story, every AME people at this time, they all was born in slavery or oh they got a slave story. Richland,
Yeah, and
Angela,
all them
all of
society
them,
ones
all of
where
them.
they actually write the narrative of what it was like. They're always a prince. They always are the prince or the king or something. And like every
Right,
time.
right. So the crazy shit is right, sis. They like to ask us, well, where's the Indians writing in the South? Where's the black people writing in the South? Nigga, we was on our shit down here. We was about that paper and surviving and all that. Y'all motherfuckers up north started making yourself sophisticated. They indoctrinated y'all ass to make y'all think y'all was more superior than your own kinfolks in the fucking South. Because y'all can read and write. But y'all reading and writing something that they giving y'all to read and write. And the crazy shit is y'all motherfuckers knew because damn near every fucking American Indian book I got was published in fucking New York.
Well, OTK, I look at it a different way.
Mm.
Um, I would go to the late 1800s, and I would look at Plankerton, or is it Plankerton or Plankinton, one of the two. They had a mansion in Wisconsin. They were part of upper society. When you look at the father, you can see that he's light, bright, and almost white. But when you look at the son, you can tell he's mixed. His mother was, I believe, a Woods from either Philadelphia or not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, somewhere on the East Coast. Now, what ends up happening is that they destroy that bank in that when they're trying to centralize the banking system, they destroy their bank. They charge them with fraud, and this has to do with the beer industry, the cattle industry, and the cheese industry. This also has to do with how you go down. I think it's I-55, and there's supposed to be the caverns down there or tunnels down there leading into Budweiser, if you would. That part of that cavern system was destroyed uh, to put that highway there. Now, when you look at this, the thing that I could see was in the South, we were working. Our folks were working as far as working the land. When people up north started attacking what was up north around the Great Lakes area, um, this caused a disruption, not only in economics, but also in communication. So I could see that people in the South being late to get their information could have had a happy suggestion that some other shit was going on and not knowing that there are people who were handling the business end of this, being up north, okay? Logistics people, if you would, you know, money people, if you would. Um, they could have bought into the happy suggestion that they were turned on by their own people, when in fact they may not have been. It might have just been a happy suggestion. And this also goes in line with refrigeration, the livestock industry as well, and refrigeration, because you see it go over to New York, if you would, to say that refrigeration came out of New York or something like that. It all happens around the same time, but it was a disruption in the economic system between the North and the South, and it may have just been some people who were targeting destroying the economics up north, which was also a part of what was going on down south. That's my thought.
That's dope, Navi. That definitely makes sense too of what's going on because I'm seeing like heavy things, different things happening in Virginia, and it's starting from Virginia, then moving down to Georgia and going down to Texas and things like that.
Yes, sir. Well, Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia pretty much roll with some of the same laws, even down to this day. Because you got to understand that North Carolina came out of Virginia and Carolina, and Georgia came out of Carolina and Florida. So they're like intermediate points. They're like they was created in a sense to be like negotiation spots where people can meet at and say like, yo, nothing needs to go on inside these states. You know what I'm saying? When they first was created.
You talking about down south?
Yeah, down south when Savannah, which was Georgia. See, when people think that Georgia became, it was only Savannah. It wasn't the whole state of what we call Georgia today. It was only Savannah. North Carolina would only be like, you probably got Tennessee, parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, going straight back over to the east where you would got where you would have like the Lumbee, the Crotons first, or the Crotons, the Lumbee, all of them up in that area right there, Robeson, all of that upper right there. But that was Virginia. So these are the state lines now. And these are imaginary lines to this day, but you know what I mean? But yeah, so these are intermediate states. With these two states coming into us, that's where we get the 13 United States of America.
Okay, well, I'll go a little different way. I'll just say that down there, somewhere between Georgia and whatever, somewhere around Georgia and yeah, Georgia, somewhere in there, you have the meeting place where the tribes met, making a demarcation line between the Choctaw and the other group. It's a meeting place down there. I believe it's in Georgia.
Well, see, what now you talking about the Choctaw or the Choctaw?
I'm not gonna play word semantics with it.
No, because when we hear the word Choctaw, we know that's 1800s. So when you saying Choctaw, we know you. I know that you're talking about earlier times. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about for me and you. Forget everybody else. We might be teaching somebody else something right now.
All I know is that my great grandmother's on the Choctaw Rolls. So Choctaw, y'all can have it. I haven't went back that far to make that connection.
No, the Choctaw is the original name. The Choctaw is once it became the
I
car
heard you,
civilized.
OTK. I heard you.
Yeah, I know you heard me. Everything good, but that's the truth. But the Choctaw are real people.
So
The Choctaw,
you have
the
that demarcation line down there, and you also have that Georgia started
mhm.
out as a colony. It was just a
Savannah
colony of
started
Georgia.
out
It
as a
wasn't the state.
colony.
Georgia
Savannah
started
started
out as a
out
colony.
not.
Savannah
What
might have
part of
started out
Georgia
as a
you talking?
colony.
Hold up.
Just
What
look
part
up
of
the
Georgia are
colony
you?
back that far to make that connection.
No, the Choctaw is the original name. The Choctaw is once it became
I
part
heard you,
civilized.
OTK. I heard you.
Yeah, I know you heard me. Everything good, but that's the truth. But the Choctaw are real people.
So
The Choctaw,
you have
the,
that demarcation line down there, and you also have that Georgia started out as a colony. It was just a
Savannah
colony of
started
Georgia. It
out as a
wasn't the state.
colony.
Georgia
Savannah
started
started
out as a
out
colony.
not.
Savannah
What
might have
part of
started out
Georgia
as a
you talking?
colony.
Hold up. What
Just look
part
up
of
the
Georgia are
colony
you
of
talking
Georgia.
about?
Just look up the colony of Georgia.
What are you talking about? 1793?
Just look up the colony of Georgia. I'm not going to answer any questions because
Listen,
I can't
I
give you an
don't have
answer
to
for it. Just
ask you.
look it up.
It's
Listen,
because
now
it's more than one colony. That's what she's trying to tell you.
that's why I asked her what colony is she talking about. She's saying the colony of Georgia, but the
Look it
colony of
up.
Georgia first started with Savannah, my brother. It came out of Beaufort
But that's what
after
you're
the
trying to
Yamasee
tell,
Wars. Hold
bro.
on, after the Yamasee Wars in 1715, bro. That's when.
Colony. That's what she's trying to tell you.
That's why I asked her what colony is she talking about. She's saying the colony of Georgia, but the
Look it
colony of
up.
Georgia first started with Savannah, my brother. It came out of Beaufort
But that's what
after
you're
the
trying to
Yamasee
tell,
Wars. Hold
bro.
on, after the Yamasee Wars in 1715, bro. That's when Savannah became Georgia. That's when Savannah became that part that came out of Beaufort, Hilton Head, and that's the first part that would now today was Georgia once they did it in 1776, bro.
And so it's those
Straight up.
people in Savannah. You're telling me it's those people in Savannah, in the colony of Savannah, aka Georgia, that stole the Choctaw, the Cherokee lands?
No, I ain't say nothing about nobody stealing nothing. Now, don't put no words in my
Uh,
mouth.
okay, don't put none in ours either, because we wasn't all over there.
Whoa, hold up. Who say you stole somebody's land?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you just did. You just put that whole jacket on me
No,
just
I
now.
didn't. If I put the jacket on you, then I couldn't say that I stole somebody's land. If I put it on you,
Hold up. What you just
I
said
don't want to
just now.
confuse the narrative.
Hold up. What you just said just now.
I basically said, so you're saying that it's the colony of Savannah, or the AKA the colony of Georgia, that stole the Cherokee lands?
All of that was not Cherokee lands for one. That's
So that
another
whole
thing
court
we got
case
to
about the
understand.
so
So
that court
no,
case that court case that court case
no,
that
no.
court
Savannah
case
wasn't
that court
stolen.
case that court case that court case dealing with the Cherokee going to the Supreme Court saying that they saying that they didn't have to cede any more land, and the governor of Georgia saying fuck what the Supreme Court said and sending that posse out. That's fake.
Okay,
Is that what you're telling me?
once again you're talking about. That's why I asked you, was you talking about 1790,
And I
1793?
said look
Because
it
now you're
up,
talking about,
but you
hold on.
steady talking
Now you're
about it,
talking about the
OTK.
Supreme Court. Hold on. Now you're
I
talking
was
about
you
a Supreme
exactly. I
Court.
am. That's what I'm talking about. I
All
asked a
right. So
question about it.
what year did we establish a Supreme
Look,
Court? Or they established a Supreme
don't
Court?
move the goalposts. You ain't looked up. You haven't looked up what I asked you to look up yet.
Listen, you can't on some real shit, on some real shit, on some real shit.
Ain't no
Seriously,
real
baby
shit.
girl.
Ain't no baby
It
girl. Don't
wasn't
baby
no,
girl
it
me.
wasn't no Georgia. It wasn't no motherfucking Georgia
Why you
until
cussing
after
at me? Why you
1776.
cussing at me?
I
I'm
ain't
not
cussing
talking
you.
about no dates.
Oh, all right, stop. I
I
stop.
said the
Okay.
colony of Georgia, which was something that I read about. You said the colony of Savannah, like they're
So
one and
I
the same.
asked you where
So
was
I'm
that at?
asking
I
you,
didn't
is this
say
the
no
same
colony.
one? Look it up.
Stop. I didn't never say no colony of Savannah. I said the first part of
You did.
Georgia, what is now Georgia, would be no, it wasn't no colony.
You
It
said it
wasn't no
started. Okay, it
colony.
wasn't a colony,
It
but it
was after
started the
the
colony of
Yamasee.
Georgia.
Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is it was after the Yamasee Wars is when they made an agreement where they made Savannah a meeting place. It wasn't no colony like that, babe. You
So I
understand what
was
I'm
talking
saying?
about the
On some
colony
real
of
shit.
Georgia. Don't call me babe. I'm talking about the colony of Georgia. That it
All right.
started out as a colony. You said something
Okay.
about it started from Savannah. Now, either we talking about the same thing or we're talking about two different things. And if
So
we're
when
talking
was
about two different
Georgia?
things, we
When
need
was
to end the
Georgia?
damn conversation.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So when was Georgia created as a state, babe? Please.
Look it up.
And how big? And how big was Georgia at this
Oh, to
time?
Go look it up.
bro, you can't learn if you know everything, bro.
Bruh, I ain't trying.
And
Listen, I'm not. I'm
going
asking
back and
questions so I can learn,
I
bruh.
know, but she gave you
But she
something to do
telling
and
me go
you didn't
look
do
it
it. You
up.
just
Why not
asking her
show me? Hey,
questions.
listen,
Look
Why
Wild
you
it
being
up.
Savage.
but you shouldn't be
Alright, alright,
argumental, bro. You're being argumental and there's no need.
alright, bet. Alright. Anyway, I'm not being argumentative, my nigga, and I don't need you. But
That's
anyway,
what's happening
I'm
though, bro.
asking her a simple question, dog. When I
Bro,
ask her a
And the
simple
answer
question,
is go look it up.
alright,
That's
bet,
the
bet.
answer.
Alright. See now, Wild Savage. Now you see what happened, bro?
yeah, I seen everything, bro, and you gotta look it up.
All
That's
right,
what
all
she
right.
said.
Oh, everything good, man.
So
Everything
we can
good,
talk.
bro. Everything good.
We can
Everything good,
dialogue. We
bro.
can't
Everything
dialogue
good.
though,
Everything good, bro. Everything good. Everything good. I want you to show me one time, dog, when I came off my rocker with her. When I steady
bro.
asked questions. I asked her for time dates.
Kept,
I asked her
kept
for years.
questions.
She tell
You
me
didn't
go
accept
look it
her
up.
answer.
You can't just,
You
bro.
didn't
Wild
accept
Savage.
her answer. What you would
Wild
need to do is
Savage.
go back and listen to yourself,
No,
brother.
man. All right, all
Yes,
right,
that's
For
what you got.
real.
all right. All right, man. Everything
Clean
good,
up
bro.
on aisle 7.
Everything good, dog. Everything good. Y'all just keep on just throwing fucking narratives out there
Bro,
and
you
don't
threw a
have
I'm not
no
narrative
from
out there.
Buford.
timelines.
Look,
Listen,
I'm not
man.
from Buford. And everything don't resonate with Buford for me. So stop trying to push me over there. I'm
See
telling
what I'm
you what I
saying?
know
Wild
from where
Savage.
I'm at.
Hidden intentions. Here we go. So Wild Savage, please stay out of this because she been did this
No, bro,
before, bro.
cause no, you're
No,
taking it
Wild
there.
Savage,
Have
she
to go
been did
somewhere.
this before, bro.
Bro,
She
we
been did
shouldn't
this
have to
before.
go there,
Wild
bro.
Savage.
You made your
Listen,
claim
bro,
about
I'm
Savannah.
not getting
He
out of
has a
Wild
difference.
Savage. I'm not getting
Bro,
out my
and I have
character,
a
bro.
difference, bro. I can show you the same thing. I can pull up a map and show you what you talking about is different.
All right, show me the map. What you talking about, bro? Show me a map.
Goodness. The same thing. I can pull up a map and show you what you talking about is different.
All right, I'll
Difference.
Savage. I'm not getting
Bro,
out my
and I have
character,
a
bro.
difference, bro. I can show you the same thing. I can pull up a map and show you what you talking about is different.
All right, show me the map. What you talking about, bro? Show me a map.
Goodness.
Show
All
me the
right.
map. Let's go. Let's go. See y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. Let me tell y'all something. I don't talk shit that I don't know.
Okay, well, bro, clearly you
I
don't know what
then, bro.
you're talking
So
about.
y'all, but dog, you
You
gotta
don't know what
respect
she's
that. So
talking
that's why
about.
I ask questions, bro.
That's
That's why
why
I
she
ask
gave
questions
you
so we can
something to
build.
look
Wild
up
Savage.
so you would be
Listen,
on the
dog.
same
Listen.
page, bro.
Wild
It's
Savage.
not
Wild
hard.
Savage.
You're making it
All right,
more
well,
harder
show me,
than what
bro.
it is,
Show
brother.
me, bro. Show me, bro. Show
You're
me.
making it
Show
harder
me.
than what it is.
All right, show me what you talking about, bro. That's all you got to do. Show me what you talking about. That's all you got to do. That's
Okay.
all any one of y'all got to do.
Bro, why can't you look up what she's talking about? What's so hard about doing that?
Why she can't show it?
Bro, she explained and she told you to look
I
it
don't
up.
ask
The
nobody
Cherokee
to
Nation.
look up what the fuck.
I mean,
Listen,
yeah,
hold
the
up,
Cherokee
bro. I
Nations.
don't ask nobody. Hold up, bro. I don't ask nobody to look up what I'm telling them. If I got something to say, bro, I'm gonna pull it up so I can
I'm
back
on my
my
damn
statement
phone and I
up.
didn't come up
That's
here.
all I ask,
Let
bro.
me say
That's
this.
all.
Let me
That's
say
all you had
this.
to say, Navi.
Let me
I'm
say
good.
this.
I
I
can
said
talk.
look it
I
up.
can talk.
Let me say this.
Look it
First of
up.
all, I'm on my phone. Two, I
What
didn't
am I
come up
supposed
here
to
to
look
pull up
up?
no sources. You can't hear? Is that the problem? You need to see it?
Yeah, I need to see where you get this shit from.
Okay.
Yes.
Same
Yes.
place you can go find it
Yes,
from.
I do. Yes, I do.
But I get it. I
Yes,
understand
I
what
do.
you're doing. Just don't do it with me.
I don't
Yeah,
even know what you're talking about,
the
dog.
look
I
the,
know you
the whole
don't.
debating thing, bro. That You
It
don't
ain't
have
no
to do.
debating thing, dog. My sister
But
Dulcie
that's what
comes
you.
up this
That's
bitch.
what you're
My
turning it
sister
into,
Dulcie
brother.
comes up this bitch, and
Brother,
my
that's
Well,
sister
what you're
Savage,
pulls
it
up
ain't
turning
got
it
nothing to
everything
do
that
with
into.
you,
she
and it
talk
ain't got
about,
nothing to
bro.
do with Dulcie.
She pulls
It,
up
it
Brother,
ain't got
everything
nothing to
she
do with
talk about.
Dulcinea, and it
This
ain't
is
got
what
nothing to
we
do with you,
do.
Wild
Don't
Savage.
dog, y'all cannot come at me with just no empty claims. I don't care who you is. I don't care
well,
who you is,
whatever it
bro.
is, bro. Like, nah, she's an
Yeah, bro.
elder, bro.
Come
Like,
on,
if
man.
she said,
Wild Savage,
It ain't
said,
dog.
even about me being
Dog,
an
I don't
elder. I
walk
just
like
I
that,
stated what
Wild
I had to
Savage,
say.
dog.
but it don't even need to be
I
all
don't walk
that. You
like
know what
that.
I'm
I don't
saying?
walk like that, bro.
The shit should have
I
been
just
looked
need to
up.
see it. Show me what you
Hey,
talking
you can
about. I
look
didn't
up,
say
bro.
I didn't say
Gave
I
you
didn't believe it.
look
Wild
up.
Savage, this the thing. Y'all acting like I said I didn't believe it. I asked her to pull it up. Let me see what you
I'm
talking
sorry.
about.
He's got some point.
That's what I asked for.
Where am
I
I
didn't say
pulling
I
it up
didn't
at?
believe it, Wild
Where am
Savage.
I pulling it up at? Where am
Did
I
I
pulling
ever
it up
say I
at?
didn't believe it?
Where am I
All
pulling it
right,
up
then.
at?
Thank you. On this
Oh, you
right
can't hear
now.
that?
What do you mean?
Where'd I
Yeah,
say?
right now
Where am I gonna pull it up at?
on the show. Share your screen.
How? How?
Nah, but you've been out here longer than me.
I'm on my phone.
And
I've
it
been out here longer than you,
ain't you
but
been
you
out here a
arguing with
long
me
time,
about something
Navi?
that I read. What does that
Navi,
matter,
fuck
OTK?
you. Hold up. Where the fuck did y'all get an argument from? I'm not arguing. I asked you
Come
to
on,
pull
bro.
it
I
up.
done watched
That's
you
it.
You turn
operate.
into an argument. That's what you
I've been up
literally.
here a long time. Yep, you right. I know how you operate. Clean up on aisle
All right, man.
7.
I chill, man. I chill. I don't know where the fuck y'all get a debate. I asked her to pull it up so she can show me. That's
I'm
it.
on my phone. What are you missing? Are you
I didn't
stuck?
know that at first. I didn't know that at first, Navi. You didn't say that at first, sis.
I didn't come up here to
Word.
show anything like that. I came up here because of what I was talking with Dulcinea. You said something, I said something that I had read as well. We could have discussed that rather than trying to pull it to whatever you know without looking at what other people have looked at and know like you're the only one that can know anything. Like I said, I don't come from Buford. My family don't come from Buford. And I'll be damned if everything's gonna be swayed over there to the damn east. I'm tired of that shit.
Oh, so you
That's
got
how
a
long
problem
I've
with
been
the
up here.
East? Oh, so you got a problem with the East
No, I got
Coast?
tired. I'm tired of
Oh,
y'all bullshit. I'm
No, it's
tired of y'all
not.
bullshit.
It's
nah,
two. It's
Wild
two
Savage,
different
Wild
truths, bro.
Savage. Chill out, bro.
Nah,
Chill out,
bro,
bro.
that ain't
Let her
cool,
go
This is
ahead.
that
bro.
gotcha
Let her
moment.
go ahead.
Wild
We're
Let
not
her.
Savage,
finna
this is
turn.
that gotcha moment. They need
No,
content.
no, we're not finna turn it into that, bro. Shit, it was different territories.
Okay. So it's an East thing now.
Let's pick a fight where there isn't one.
I know that's right. No, you came to pick a fight. Now I see what it is.
Did I? No, I just got low patience for this shit. That's why I don't come up on these panels anymore because y'all be tripping. But you know, with me saying that, let me go on and go to bed because I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Man, all right, now we sorry that happened.
Dog, what the fuck did I do just now? Not a fucking thing, because I asked her to
Yeah,
pull up
you did,
something.
bro. Say
She
something
started
like,
spazzing out. Wild Savage, if you
bro, you
was watching that shit from the
argue.
jump, dog, she
Yeah,
started
I
spazzing
watched
out
it
on
from
me when I
the
asked her to
jump,
pull it
bro.
up. Because shit, dog, that came later. I
It's
don't
no
know.
excuse.
You know what I mean?
No excuse, bro. It didn't even never went there.
Hey, listen, for one, dog, I ain't got to make no excuse for nobody. For real. I ain't got to make no excuse for my fucking self. Because not a nan motherfucker do shit for OTK, bro. So I don't got to make excuses, my dog.
Well, that's what that is.
All I
That's what
did was ask her to
that's,
show it. That's all I did.
it
And
was.
me and her, listen,
Told
the
you what
other
she
day,
told
hold
you,
up, wow, Savage, hold on.
and
The
you
other day
feel
she came on
offended
my show,
because
bro.
she told you to
I said,
Google something
Navi, I
like
apologize.
you're
Hold on.
debating a Pan African or something. Like, no, we're not
No,
about to
I
debate,
wanted her to pull it up so she can show the
bro.
people, bro.
If she's telling you to Google it, you should have did it. Why turn it into an argument?
Hey,
That's
Wild
all.
Savage. Hey,
That's
listen, Wild
all I'm saying.
Savage. On some real nigga shit, dog. On some real nigga shit, dog. On some real nigga shit. Some shit you need to stay the fuck up out of, bro. on some real nigga shit, bro.
I'm gonna tell the truth
Hey,
regardless.
dog,
don't
dog,
like
you
it.
don't got it. Hey, listen, dog. When you defend
I'm
wrong
up
some
here.
fucking
If I'm
time,
up
dog.
here, bro, I'm gonna say
Listen,
it, bro.
Some shit you needed. Hey, this real nigga
I
coming to real
care,
nigga,
bro.
dog.
I'm
Some
calling
shit
how I
you
see
gotta
it, bro.
stay out of, bro.
I still
Some
love
shit
you
you
at the end
gotta
of the
stay up
day.
out of, bro.
Still
On
love you at
some
the end of
real
the day. I'm
nigga
gonna
shit.
call it how I see it, bro. Right is right and wrong
Yeah,
is wrong.
dog. But listen,
I don't take
dog.
sides,
Listen,
bro.
man.
I made that
Listen,
established,
dog.
bro. I don't take
Listen,
nobody's side. I'm not
but I'm just
nobody's
telling you, bro. I didn't say
right
nothing
is
wrong.
right,
I don't know what the
wrong is
fuck
wrong.
you heard.
You was in
I
the
don't know what the
wrong.
fuck you heard or
Well, you need
whatever,
to play
man.
it back. If you play it back, you can go back and look. She came up here to help Doshi's argument, and you turned it into an argument between you and her. It shouldn't have been that. That's what it
That was never
happened. That's
done.
what just happened. That's
Hold
what
up, Wild
everybody.
Savage. I don't know if you was missing, dog, but
No, I'm not missing, bro. I was right
through
here
with
the whole
that.
time.
They been done through with that, dog, and then she
I
brought up
know they
something
was through
about
with it. I
Georgia.
know they was through with it. And you stated your claim, and she stated something different. And
So
then when
how
she
you say?
told you, huh? That's what
I
said.
can back up
I
my
said
claim
she
though.
originally
I can
came up
back up my
here
claim though,
to
bro.
help
And that's all I
Dulcinea with her
asked her.
claim or what she
Just
was
put what
talking
you
about,
saying.
what she posted. So what are you
I
saying? That was the
bet, Wild
original
Savage.
reason up here.
Everything good, man. Everything good, bro.
Okay.
Everything good, bro. Everything good. But I'm gonna tell you like this right here, dog. I seen the hidden intentions when it finally came out.
Well, you gotta be the big.
That shit. Everything didn't start from the east. That's what she said. So I got it. Everything good. Everything good.
Okay,
Everything good.
that's
Yeah.
I has
Yeah.
different.
Man, listen, Wild Savage. Sometimes, dog, we got to sit back and chill. You don't defend every motherfucking thing, dog.
Oh, bro, I'm defending
Word.
bullshit.
On my Jesus, dog. On my Jesus.
I'm a savage. When I see bullshit, I gotta call it.
Yeah. And when I see a nigga calling bullshit when it ain't bullshit and not calling bullshit where it need to be called at, I'ma say it too, dog. And that's bullshit that you calling bullshit on me. But if you were just trying to get me to calm down, brother, then that's definitely bullshit on my part. I apologize for that. You absolutely correct. You absolutely correct. But now if you calling bullshit on what me with about as far as the information wise, then that's a whole nother level, bro.
Man, I'm talking
so I respect that. If you calling bullshit with me with the woman, I understand that from what you said. Then I respect that, bro. I respect that.
But yeah, let's build on something else.
With the last archive you just went on, man. You know what I mean? I know you always researching, man. What's the latest shit you found out? Oh, Nate just made claim Wild Savage, man. Nate said, man, that's what he was trying to do. OTK, calm your ass down. Okay, my fault. My bad. Thousand pardon, Wild Savage. And then you see me like, yo, hey sis, man, don't you call me sis? And all this, man. God damn. So it's all good, man. Damn. All I asked, I just wanted to see that, bro. That's all. Just so, and all this, man. God damn. So it's all good, man. Damn. All I asked, I just wanted to see that, bro. That's all. Just so we can show the people, man. You know what I mean? Wild Savage, dog. We don't just make claims without showing it. Claim Wild Savage, man. Nate said, man, that's what he was trying to do. OTK, calm your ass down. Okay, my fault. My bad. Thousand pardon, Wild Savage. And then you see me like, yo, hey sis, man, don't you call me sis? And all this, man. God damn. So it's all good, man. Damn. All I asked, I just wanted to see that, bro. That's all. Just so we can show the people, man. You know what I mean? Wild Savage. Dog, we don't just make claims. My bad. Thousand pardon, Wild Savage. And then you see me like, yo, hey sis, man, don't you call me sis? And all this, man. God damn. So it's all good, man. Damn. All I asked, I just wanted to see that, bro. That's all. Just so we can show the people, man. You know what I mean? Wild Savage, dog. We don't just make claims without showing it. That's
Well,
it. I'm not saying that her claim was wrong, bro. I'm just saying show it so then I'll read it or we could do whatever. I did never say that she was lying. That's one thing you ain't gonna find on that video that I said she was wrong, bro. I just say, can you show me that, please? That's
man, I
it.
got stuff on fish if y'all want to look at.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
We go through. I'm playing with some stuff I've been organizing. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter. We can go. We
But
can
my
look at.
bad. Thousand pardon the Navi, man. But you know what I mean? Damn, sis was coming up rowdy on me on the other on my channel, man. And I was like, no, sis, no, sis. Ain't no problem, sis. Ain't no problem, sis. You know what I mean? Yeah, I said baby girl, and you know what I mean? That's how I speak, unique. That's how I speak because I'm around women, my mama, my daughters, my baby girls, them. So I be like, love, hey, baby girl. You know what I mean? Goddamn, sis. That's how I speak, bro. I look at every woman like, yo, sis, fam, you know what I mean? You my people's them. Like that, bro. So that's just how I speak. It's no baby like you my baby. No, hell no. Come on. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, you know I understand it as a Detroit nigga,
Yeah,
my baby.
right, Mo D. I'm like,
You dig what I'm talking about?
yeah.
It just mean I
What'd you
care for
say,
you kind of
Carl?
like that.
What'd you say, Carl?
What up, though? What y'all boys got cracking, man?
Man, nothing trying to
Man,
just
change that energy up. Let's just switch that whole
My
vibe
bag,
up. Like,
OA. My bag, OA.
no, it was just
Right, Mo DZ,
it
man.
just
I
it went left.
apologize,
It was
dog.
already left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So fuck it. On to the next.
yeah. I'm very passionate about this shit, man, because dog, we done been lied to for so fucking long to where when we start finding out shit, I'm not saying that sis was lying. I just wanted her to pull that shit up so we can show this
Yeah.
shit. But some people might not know that shit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what I
You know
don't
what I
even know what
mean?
the fuck she said.
I
Like,
don't
you know,
even know what
no
it
offense.
was
Like
too.
she was saying,
You
look
know
it
what I
up. I'm like, look what up? Because I was
mean?
trying to look
What
that
up?
shit up.
Before I say this shit.
1796 is when we got statehood. Matter of fact, June 1st, we just had statehood. June 1st, 1796 is when Tennessee became a state. Okay.
Okay, all right. Now, okay, bet. So this part of Tennessee that became a state, was it part of Carolina and Virginia?
Yes, it was originally a part of the.
All right then. All right then. So therefore, before 1796, your information will go back to Virginia and Carolina. It wouldn't be up underneath Tennessee history. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but we would still have history of stuff in Tennessee that Carolina and Virginia wouldn't have. You would only know if you was in that particular area to get that
Yeah,
information.
and that's when y'all became separate from Carolina and Virginia. They wouldn't have y'all history, bro.
Brother, no,
Anything before y'all became y'all own state,
Can't say
dog.
that,
Y'all history
OTK.
lies within Virginia and North
no,
Carolina,
no,
bro,
You
get out.
can't
and
say that,
Carolina.
OTK. Everybody's story ain't the same, OTK. You can't say that.
No, I'm saying I know y'all Virginia and North
No,
Carolina,
no,
bro,
You
get out.
can't
and
say that,
Carolina.
OTK. Everybody's story ain't the same, OTK. You can't say that.
No, I'm saying I know y'all story is American Indian story. I'm talking about the motherfuckers who
You
writing
mean in
about
the
us,
main
bro. And
the main
No,
story, the
yes,
main
yeah,
story. He,
the
he meaning the
narrative,
main. He not
the
meaning like the
narrative.
family story.
Right? No, no,
He
no.
not
Hell
meaning
no.
the family story.
Hell no. Hell no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these
so you
narratives that they start kicking. That's all I'm talking about on Wild Savage. I'm not
hold
talking
on,
about grandmama now. Hell no. Hell no. I know y'all existed. I know people existed over there now. No, hell no. I
and
ain't
it don't.
saying that. No, no, hell
I
no.
go
Also, your mic going in and out, bro.
Yeah, Wild Savage, right?
before
Yeah.
Okay,
Wild
country.
I
Savage.
thought I was tripping.
The
Hey, Wild
information.
Savage, stop
Huh?
sharing your
Well,
screen, Wild Savage. Your mic going in and out. Stop sharing your screen and then talk, bro. In and out. I thought it was me.
Before
Yeah, I would
17,
never. Yeah, I would never say that
before
shit.
There
7,
we go.
before 1796, the indigenous history you're not going to find necessarily in Carolina. I'm talking about the oldest history before it was called Tennessee, when it was considered Carolina territory, but it wasn't even considered Carolina territory. It was considered
Indian
depending on
territory.
the nation that was there,
Indian
whether it was
territory, bro. Indian
Cherokee,
territory. Yeah.
Choctaw, or of them nations. But in
Yeah.
them
It was
nations,
just called. It was just called Indian territory, bro.
no, no. And in them nations, you had a group of different families that made up them nations that is called the East Cherokees, because it was 5 different bands of Cherokee or the Choctaw or any else. That's the map that I'm trying to show you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
even
yeah. I got that. I got
it's
that. The
not
upper and the
the
north, the
whole
upper and the
Georgia
north.
or what is, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is what you was trying to say with Navi. The point is the whole Georgia, that area is not called Savannah or Beaufort at this time. You know what I'm saying? So what she was saying is where
Whoa, whoa,
her
whoa, whoa,
people
whoa, whoa,
from,
whoa, whoa, whoa. What you just say this now? What I said?
that the whole Georgia was Savannah and Beaufort, come from
No,
Beaufort.
bro. How the fuck y'all get
the whole Georgia, that area is not called Savannah or Beaufort at this time. You know what I'm saying? So what she was saying is where
Whoa, whoa,
her
whoa, whoa,
people
whoa, whoa,
from,
whoa, whoa, whoa. What you just say this now? What I said?
that the whole Georgia was Savannah and Beaufort, come from
No,
Beaufort.
bro. How the fuck y'all get that out of what I said?
What was you saying then?
I said Georgia, if you want to call it Georgia, the first part that became what is now today Georgia, the only part when they recognized Georgia as a fucking state was Savannah and the little parts on the outskirts. It was not the size of Georgia what it is today. See, that's why I be getting a little hostile, because y'all be misunderstanding what I'm saying and then be changing my words.
Hey,
No, that's what you said, brother.
could y'all share that map? I think this the map OTK was talking about, the King George in
Yeah, the King George, 1715, man, during the Yamasee
1715.
Wars. Yeah, show this
Yeah.
shit. Show this shit. We got the Upper Cherokee and we got a Lower Cherokee. We know these things. They actually started fighting against each other. You know why? Because the
This is
Upper
when they
Cherokee,
start
because the Upper
splitting
Cherokee started
Carolina.
mixing in with the fucking French and all these other shit.
Yeah.
But that's another story. We got all these kids.
OTK was talking about the King George in
Yeah, the King George, 1715, man, during the Yamasee
1715.
Wars. Yeah, show this
Yeah.
shit. Show this shit. We got the Upper Cherokee. And we got a
George in
yeah, the King George, 1715, man, during the Yamasee
1715.
Wars. Yeah, show this
Yeah.
shit. Show this shit. We got the Upper Cherokee and we got a Lower Cherokee. We know these things. They actually started fighting against each other. You know why? Because the
This is
Upper
when they start
Cherokee, because the Upper
splitting
Cherokee started
Carolina.
mixing in with the fucking French and all these other shit.
Yeah.
But that's another story. Though. We got all these king story, all these motherfuckers who with all these dirty Indians, though. We got these stories fighting against each other. You know why? Because the
this is
Upper
when they
Cherokee,
start
because the Upper
splitting
Cherokee
North
started
Carolina.
mixing in with the fucking French and all these other shit.
Yeah.
But that's another story, though. We got all these king stories, all these motherfuckers who with all these dirty Indians, though. We got their stories. These motherfuckers was doing more writing than a little bit about these dirty Indians who was helping them out. We got them.
And
We got
hey,
more stories about
my
dirty
thing is,
Indians than
my
we do
thing
about
is,
good Indians.
This map,
No,
hey,
Georgia,
but
real.
the area of Georgia is not even near Savannah, and you have
What happened? What did you just say?
I'm saying the area that on this map that is called
hey,
More story about dirty Indians than we
my
do
thing
about
is,
good Indians.
this map,
No,
hey,
Georgia,
but
real.
the area of Georgia is not even near Savannah, and you have
What happened? What did you just say?
I'm saying the area that on this map that is called Georgia is not near Savannah. Like I mean, if I show you,
Oh
you'll see.
my God! Don't you know? Oh my God! Don't you
I'm
wait a
know
minute,
Savannah is a?
wait.
This man says
Are you
Savannah
saying
is
they
not in.
showing
Oh
Savannah
my God!
okay.
outside
Look,
of Georgia?
Oh,
look. Here goes Georgia. Here goes Georgia. Right? That's Georgia. All right,
Come
let's
on, that's where y'all at.
check us
my
out.
God!
You have
You showing a river, the Savannah River?
yeah, these are rivers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
in
Savannah is a
Georgia.
river too. Savannah
Hold
is a
on.
It's
river.
in
So are
Georgia.
you showing Savannah River? Dog,
No,
Savannah is on the Atlantic
I'm
coast.
on the area
What is
of
he talking about?
Georgia. It's called Georgia at this time.
Well,
This is what
hey,
I'm
This man
showing.
says Savannah.
1715, I don't think it was called Georgia.
This man
Well, that's
says
what
Savannah was not in
I'm saying.
Georgia,
But
dog.
I'm
Oh
just saying
my God.
on this map. But Savannah is over here off of where did I see it at?
Oh my God,
Hey,
cuz.
hey, share my screen real quick, Smoke or somebody.
Yes, the Savannah River is right here, but I don't see.
Yes, that's the
Yeah, you're
Savannah
in
River. That
Georgia
shit
though.
leads
You're
all the
still
way
in
damn
Georgia
near to
if you're in
Tennessee,
Now,
dog.
Savannah.
and this is
Yeah.
at this
The
time it's
Savannah
considered
River
part of
damn near
South
leads
Carolina.
the
It's
Savannah
considered
River joins in the other rivers, dog. The Savannah River join in the other rivers and turn into other rivers, bro.
but it's going up. It's not even going towards the Georgia area. See the Savannah River right here? It's going up right here. That's all South Carolina.
Yeah, I know where the Savannah is, bro.
Okay,
The
so Georgia,
Altamar River,
but
the
hold on,
Altamaha River,
Georgia,
all that,
but
bro.
look. Georgia is over here. Georgia's over here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You see it? It
Oh my
says it.
God, dog.
I'm just saying.
Oh
All
my
right.
God, man. Hey,
You
Uh,
can't
wild
say
savage.
that.
hey,
All right,
can I
one
show?
thing is we cannot
Yeah.
say that he's not lying. He's showing what he's saying. Now,
He's
if
showing
it's
what he's saying, but he just
real or
listen,
not, I don't know if
he's
that's you
just
feel me.
looking
That's
at it.
what
I think he's just looking
yeah,
at it
that's
the
what we
wrong
got
way,
to
right,
dissect.
Easy? Yeah, I think he's just
That's what
looking
we
at
got
it
to
the wrong
dissect.
way. Yeah, I think he's just looking at it the wrong way, though, Bright Modizi. He's actually correct because what he's showing, he's saying what he's showing. I gotta respect that. Definitely. You absolutely correct. But I'm just telling him that that map right there, once you see Georgia written on it, dog, that's after that's
Yeah,
after
it's after.
1776, bro. It's afterwards. That's all I was saying, bro.
I'm
Well,
talking about when it was still
And ain't
called
nobody can
Carolina.
show me different, bro. You ain't gonna
well,
find nothing different. I
what
do
it says.
cartography.
Okay,
I
well, what
do
it
this
says.
shit, man. I do
Okay,
topography and I look up these cartographers who's doing this
uh,
topography.
okay,
I love
okay.
maps.
Hold
I
on, bro.
love maps. I have a map collection, bro.
Let me give you the historical note in the description because this is not me saying this is what they're saying. The historical note: Giles Robert de Vange was an influential French choreographer in the 18th century. He and his son Dieter produced Atlas Universal in 1757, updating many of the earlier French maps published in the first half of the 18th century. His son became Louis the that is the 14th geographer in 1760. That's the historical note. Now, if
Uh,
you give a description,
All
the
right. So they was geographers. They was geographers, not
I,
cartographers.
I
it
would.
said
Not
cartographer.
cartographers.
It
Not
said cartographer. Do you want to see
they
it?
was
It said
cartographers. So they was map makers.
French
Yeah.
cartographer.
Okay. All right. So now the French. That's why I tell you pull up that 1715 map. Because I can
Right.
show you where
This
the
is what
French was at.
I'm
if
just
somebody if
Hold
smoke
up. I can
smoke
show
I'm just saying
you where
what
the French was at, bro.
it ain't
Yes,
the
that's why I say I respect that. But I'm gonna show you something a little earlier than that, bro.
right.
Right
I
here.
wanted to just show this.
This is
This
when
is
North Carolina
a
got
complete.
separated. Go ahead.
This is a complete description of the province of Carolina. That would include where Georgia is, South Carolina, and North Carolina, all the way to Louisiana border, up in here to Tennessee, all that shit, all the way up into North Carolina and back down.
Big facts.
And
And
this
if
is
you go
Spanish.
in closer on this map, they will show you how many troops they are
all the way to Louisiana border, up in here to Tennessee, all that shit, all the way up into North Carolina and back down.
Big facts.
And
And
this
if
is
you
Spanish.
go in closer on this map, they will show you how many troops. They'll show you that it's a war going on with the South Carolinians and the Floridians. And they'll show you the trails that they took. They'll
Is this
show you
the
how
original?
many chieftains. Yeah, they'll show, yeah, because they writing it back to the king. They'll show you how many people. See the Altamaha? You see the Savannah River right there, bro? That's Carolina. You see the Savannah River? You see the Altamaha? That's all Carolina. They even show you where the English at, and look where the refugees at. French refugees. Guess where they at, bro? Guess where they at? Bottom part of Savannah, South Carolina, over there to the right.
Oh.
Yeah. You see the Coshocton? I thought I was tripping.
The information.
Hey, Wild Savage, stop sharing your screen, Wild Savage. Your mic going in and out. Stop sharing your screen and then talk, bro. In and out. I thought it was me.
Before 17.
I would never say
Before
that.
1796, the indigenous history you're not going to find necessarily in Carolina. I'm talking about the oldest history, before it was called Tennessee, when it was considered Carolina territory. But it wasn't even considered Carolina territory. It was considered
Indian
depending on
territory.
the nation that was there.
Indian territory, bro.
Whether it was
Indian
Cherokee,
territory.
Choctaw, of them nations. But in them
It was
nations,
just called Indian territory, bro.
no. And in them nations, you had a group of different families that made up them nations that is called the East Cherokees, because it was 5 different bands of Cherokee, or the Choctaw, or any else. That's the map that I'm trying to show you. But even
I got that.
it's
The
not
upper and the
the
north,
whole
the upper and the
Georgia or
north.
what is. But what I'm saying is, what you was trying to say with Navi, the point is, the whole Georgia, that area is not called Savannah or Beaufort at this time. You know what I'm saying? So what she was saying is, where her people.
Whoa. What you just say this now? What I said?
Mighty nation that existed before it, that got moved and then just got placed into the Yamasees, and that
now is Alabama, correct?
Indians 1,100 men. I'm just saying, at 715 in 1715 ain't no Georgia.
Yeah, it ain't no Georgia.
It's all Carolina.
It just became North Carolina. Right.
Yeah, we not saying later it don't change up and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. And look, here go Charleston right here.
Yeah, I mean you can zoom in so they don't think you're lying or nothing like that. You can zoom in, and so they can see the actual names.
Right there.
Bro, we want to see the actual map, not a demi replay.
What happened?
I don't know.
I'm saying we want to see the actual map after archives, or like, where can we pull it up in the archives so we can see the.
Well, go ahead in the archive and look up this right here.
Yeah,
pull up that legend key. Pull up that legend key to the left.
Well, here go another 1715 map, since you don't like colors.
That's just parts of Western Ocean, dog. So what I'm telling you is, bro, it depends on who's doing it. So you're gonna find a French, you're gonna find a British, you're gonna find an English, and you're gonna find a Spanish. Map. When you find the Spanish map, guess what? All this bottom part right here might say La Florida. What is now today Jacksonville and all that shit there? That shit might say La Florida. But then you got to look at the date. The map might have came out in 1700s, but in the 1500s is what they probably will be talking about.
Yeah.
Because the Spanish was down here in the Gulf. The Spanish didn't go no farther than the Gulf. When they came into Carolina, this is the part of Carolina to the left that they came into. This is when they ran into Cofachecky and Tuscaloosa, them boys. Tuscaloosa now is Alabama, correct?
Yeah.
Chief Cofachecky is South Carolina, correct? He ran into both of those chiefs coming through the bay, coming through the Gulf. This is where he would come in at, through the bottom part. That's why when you look in history, it don't say he came into Alabama. It say he came into Carolina and went on up to Tennessee, because they're giving you modern day times. Because the top part of this right here would turn into Georgia and then into Tennessee. So this is what you see, what they saying, because he came up that river. So now we see why he's saying he was in Carolina. And we'd be like, hell no. DeSoto ain't never did nothing in Carolina. Yes, he did.
I'm looking at this Tuscarora War. Boy, this was some.
That was serious too. That happened up north. That's when the Yamasees and the Assa tribes from the Creek Nation.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the Yamasee War.
Yeah, them boys came. That was the beginning of it.
Yeah, this is all the same thing. It's all the same thing.
They came and helped them motherfuckers out, and that's when they left from up north.
Virginia, but they don't tell you that the Cherokees,
and they came down south and mixed in with the Timucuans and all of that shit right there, the Timocraws and all that. The Tuscaroras ended up down south.
But they don't tell you. They don't tell you that the Cherokees turned coat and turned against the Yamasees, and that after that, like tribes like the Catawba, the Santee, you dig what I'm talking about? Turned against they former allies and start killing them, like the Waukesha, the Waccamaw, all them. They turned against them, enslaved them niggas.
Yo. And that's why I said it was 100 tribes within this fucking war. But when it ended, this is when you see the 5 civilized tribes all of a sudden come out after that. Now everybody, they don't even call you by your individual chieftain now. Now either you Muskegon, you Iroquois, you Algonquin, or you Siouan at first. Then that shit changed into motherfucker your original tribe. Then that shit turned to Cherokee, Choctaw, Seminole, and all that. How can everybody be Seminole?
You don't even hear about the Hurons. You don't even hear about the Huron Confederacy.
Because they went up under these nations. The families combined up under these nations.
Yeah, but the point is, this is a mighty nation that existed before it, that got moved and then just got placed into a container, a social construct. You
Because
dig
all
what I'm
them boys
talking
was
about?
up underneath the Muskegee Nation at first. All them boys from the South, and they was coming up north to help the Indians up north. They
Who
even
was
came and helped your boy. They even
We
came
was
and
all
helped King Philip.
they was already
Yeah,
the
they came and
Hurons
helped King
before
Philip
that.
and all, dog. During the
I
We was
King
found
Philip
already
War.
I,
they was already the
I found
Hurons
a
before
British man.
colonization, period. They was already all through up here. Many of them, like the Miami, like the Sioux and Fox. A lot of these initial tribes that was in Michigan, they was pushed west by the Iroquois during that whole Beaver War shit. They damn near wiped Michigan out because they got some guns and them niggas went crazy. They don't tell you that part. Why them about the Huron Confederacy? Turned
PD,
against they
the
former
PD,
ally.
the beginning of it,
Yeah,
the
this is
Tuscaroras.
all the same thing. It's all the same
Yeah, they
thing.
came and helped them motherfuckers out, and that's when they left from up north,
Hey, but they
Virginia,
don't tell you that
North
the
Carolina, and they
Cherokees,
came down south and mixed in with the Timacuans and all of that shit right there, the Timacraws and all that. The Tuscaroras ended up down south
but
after that.
they don't tell you that the Cherokees turned coat and turned against the
Correct.
Yamasees, and that after
Correct.
that,
Correct.
like tribes like the Catawba, the Santee, you dig what I'm talking about? Turned
PD,
against they
the
former
PD.
allies and start killing them, like the Waukesha, the Waccamaw, all them. They
Yep.
turned against them, enslaved them niggas.
Yep. And that's why I
They don't
said it
tell you
was
that the
100
Catawba.
tribes within this fucking war. But when it ended, this is when you see the 5 civilized tribes all of a sudden come out after that. Not everybody, they don't even call you by your individual chieftain now. They just call you either one of the tribes now. Either you Muskegon, you Iroquois, you Algonquin, or you Siouan at first. Then that shit changed into motherfucker your original tribe. Then that shit turned to Cherokee, Choctaw, Seminole, and all that. How can everybody be Seminole when
You don't
Seminole
even
came
hear
way
about
later?
the Hurons. You don't even hear about the Huron Confederacy.
Because they went up under these nations. The families
That's what
combined up under these nations.
Yeah, but but the point is, this is a mighty nation that existed before it, that got moved and then just got placed into a container, a social construct. You
Because
dig
all
what I'm
them boys
talking
was
about?
up underneath the Muskegee Nation at first. All them boys from the South, and they was coming up north to help the Indians up north. They
Who
even
was
came and helped your boy. They even
We
came
was
and
all
helped
we
King
was
Philip.
already They was already
Yeah,
the
they came and
Hurons
helped King
before
Philip
that.
and all, dog. During the
I
We was
King
found
Philip
already
War.
I,
they was already the
I found
Hurons
a
before
British man.
colonization, period. They was already all through up here. Many of them, like the Miami, like the Sioux and Fox, a lot of these initial tribes that was in Michigan, they was pushed west by the Iroquois during that whole Beaver War shit. They damn near wiped Michigan out because they got some guns and them niggas went crazy. They don't tell you that part. Why them niggas got pushed west? It was the fucking Iroquois. You know what I mean? And the French was playing on that shit.
Yeah, that's why I tell everybody, man, study the American Indian Wars, dog, and it'll start making sense. Dog, ain't nothing gonna make more sense than the American Indian Wars going along with your genealogy. When you know your family story in that area and they see these wars, now you can see what the fuck was going on and who participated on what side and all of this. I mean, at the beginning of the Yamasee Wars, shit, my own chieftain, the Edawans, they went against the Yamasee at first, but then they flipped and said, nah, hell no, we going with them. And they ended up fighting with the Yamasee in 1715. You feel me? Right here in Goose Street. Word. But at first they was like, nah, because you had different bands of the Yamasee, different bands of the Cherokee. You had the Westos, them boys that was out there that was just strictly fucking raiders who was claiming other chieftains, acting like they was other chieftains and going around and raiding our own American Indian chieftains, dog. They was rogue. They was rogue.
And but not all of them was rogue. Some of them niggas knew exactly what the fuck they was doing. They was just dirty, like the Tuscarora,
like the Dirty Moors,
like the and hold on, don't forget Colonel Maurice Moore.
Right,
he was the one leading them down into South Carolina.
And James
so
Moore,
the Moore Moors, they European.
Right, and James Moore.
Yep.
And James Moore. Some of the first Moors to ever come across here with the Moore name. They was part of the
he was part of the people who came with the Tuscarora and they backed up the governor of South Carolina with 100 troops and with 100 white men and Tuscarora Indians. Maurice Moore. Yep.
James Moore 1 and 2 too. James Moore Senior and James Moore fucking 1. They two of the first. They came with the Cravens them. because these two went on, and one of them became one of the Goose Creek men. 1700s by way of Barbados. No slave, no nothing, by way of Barbados.
Yep. And this how the Waccamaw got pulled into it, and the Cape Fear Indians. That's how they got pulled into it. Because somebody was snitching.
Yeah.
Rat ass niggas was snitching and told more in them, and that the Waccamaw and the Cape Fear Indians was gonna do something. And he attacked them niggas. You dig what I'm and enslaved them. The American Indians.
Hell
You dig
yeah,
what I'm
Juice.
talking about?
Definitely. This was these motherfuckers later became Indian agents. And guess what, Juice? When we go back and we look at history and we start finding out who these people is, 90% of these motherfuckers was. I ain't even gonna say that. Let me leave that shit alone. I ain't even gonna say that shit. I'll leave that shit alone. I might ruffle some goddamn feathers like Bat say. Might ruffle
Now
some
look,
feathers if I say that.
somebody telling somebody snitching. Initially, the Cherokee remained. This is from North Carolinapedia.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, the Cherokee remained neutral during the Yamasee War, despite efforts by both sides to gain their support. But when Moore, the man we was talking about, right, led an army of 300 men into Cherokee country, Tennessee, to conduct negotiations on behalf of South Carolina, his mission was successful and marked the turning point in the war. By the spring of 1716, most of the Yamasee had settled in Florida. Other Indian tribes, including the Catawba and the Santee, didn't I just tell y'all, made peace by fall. Subsequently, the Catawba, some bad motherfuckers too, you dig what I'm talking about? People would call them Siouan. Or they would call them Iroquois too, some people. Turn their
that's a mixture too.
That's they mixed up. It's the mix.
Yeah, they a mixture of tribes too. They a mixture of chieftains too. They are people now in their own group, but then after a while, they inherited a bunch of motherfuckers, just like the Cherokee, just like the Yamasee. They inherited a bunch of people.
That's what Siouan means.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means.
Look at Sachi. It wasn't no Tennessee.
They call them the snakes. You did what I'm talking about.
Yeah, some of the Catawba are Siouan 101.
Yeah.
The PD, the Catawbas, the Congaree, the PD, I want to say the Seaweed, the PD, the Santee, all of them upper state. Yes.
But there's a Muskogee speaking part too.
They do end up becoming Catawban, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. The Siouan.
It's the Catawba turned on their former allies, killing many of the Waukesha and the Waccamaw. Shout out to my nigga Waccamaw, Big Wak. I got a nice big good little Wak boy. You dig what I'm talking about? About to have a little Wak boy. Shout out my nigga Sauce. And shout out to Waccamaw and to the Waukesha. Indians and scattering or enslaving the rest. So look like a lot of that enslavement was done by our own people. It be funk. Niggas be funky. Shit, we was up here doing the same shit tonight. Funky.
Yeah, right.
That remind me why I came on this motherfucker.
So,
did y'all see Jackie Brown come back out?
Oh yeah, we see that. Man, you
That
crazy.
No, I
shit
ain't
was
see it.
so fucking. Oh my god, dog! I don't know what day that shit was. That shit was so
You
fucking funny.
And she came in there and got her shit off and said, "Bitch, I'm in fucking El Salvador with the plug, bitch. I'm out." I said, "Oh shit."
She said
That
she
And
in
she
shit
El
was
was
like, "Yo,"
Salvador with the plug.
she was like, "I'm in El Salvador with the plug. Bye, y'all. I got to go to work." We were saying, "Hold on. How the hell you in El Salvador and you got to go to work?"
that
Shit
shit
was
was
Proud
funny
motherfucker
as
with her shit.
Hey man, hey, Smoke. I mean, can y'all share my screen in the back real quick? Let me get them boys a little insight about how this thing is, man. You know what I mean? So we can get some kind of geography. But yeah, she came in there
Put it in the
wild,
back.
fucking
I'll share it.
intentional. I just came in here to say fuck y'all. Hey y'all, fuck y'all.
hell.
Jackie
Dog,
Brown,
Bab
the
gotta
boys was
clip
like,
that
yeah, Jackie
shit,
Brown.
dog.
Big Smoke Signal was like, hey, Jackie, good to see you coming back around. She was like, yeah, I just came to say fuck y'all.